Super Smash Bros. Ultimate overall is a great game. Yeah, its online's pretty bad, as I myself have made an entire video discussing its online functionality being lacking and whatnot, but the game itself is something spectacular in my own personal opinion. But what willed me to be here today in this recent controversy is the Sonic being banned in online tournaments discussion. I want to analyze the hate and attempts to ban characters in Smash Ultimate. A lot of this has rubbed me the wrong way throughout this game's lifespan, and whether online or offline playing this game, there's always some type of drama that causes chain reactions in this community. But let's get started. Ultimate has around 80 characters in this game. You're bound to enjoy playing at least one of these characters in the game. Your one character you enjoy playing may not have a favorable matchup against a lot of characters in this cast. And honestly, that's perfectly okay. That's the thing about fighting games. Characters have clear weaknesses and strengths. Well, most of the time. But it's how you apply those strengths and make up for the weaknesses in your play when in non-favorable matchups. Essentially working twice as hard. And in my own personal opinion, not a lot of Smash players want to put in the extra work in order to win these matchups against characters that are not clearly broken. Top players in the Smash community are up there for a reason. Sure, they have characters they do not enjoy fighting or have a tough matchup against themselves. But when it comes down to winning, it no longer matters and they do their best to win. Resorting to complaining and nerfing characters will not solve your own lack of skill in certain areas. Ultimate for sure is not perfectly balanced at all, and some characters could either use slight tone downs or buffs, but it doesn't resent the fact that it's still more skill based and knowledge based. So when I see complaining about a character when someone does something in tournaments, it creates a super toxic environment that I don't see why anyone on the outside looking in would want to join this community, if all they really see is people getting trashed for playing a certain character. Oh yeah, that's the biggest thing. People get trashed on for playing a video game a certain way. This is where it goes from an annoyance to, alright, this is a problem now. People in the Smash community becoming hated for playing a game is nothing new. The biggest example of this throughout Smash's history is Hungrybox and Melee. As many of you may know, Hungrybox plays Jigglypuff in Melee, and many people find Jiggs extremely boring and hate the campy and floaty playstyle that Hungrybox very much so uses to his advantage to win. He's gotten booed for years, things thrown at him such as a literal crab thrown at Hungrybox on stage, and it's just so ridiculous, and it's annoying that people feel the need to act this way when it comes to competitive Smash. My biggest issue with a lot of the gaming communities in general is that they need someone else to tell them it's a problem before they themselves start to believe so. But you could call me a hypocrite because I'm definitely making this video why this is a problem. But let's start with some individual characters with the biggest amount of discussion, and let's go case by case. I'll even throw in some honorable mentions in the end. Joker is the first DLC character in Ultimate, if we're not counting
Piranha Plant.
When Joker first came out, I've seen a lot of mixed reception on whether the character was good or not. It took about a month or two until the best player in the world, MKLeo, picked up Joker and started winning tournaments back to back. Keep in mind, MKLeo was already probably the best at the game with his previous mains and was winning events beforehand. But since he picked up Joker, MKLeo's skill just skyrocketed and showcased how good and insane he and the character is. He's made several huge tournament comebacks from the losers bracket, and this just conditioned people to think that Joker is broken, especially due to one mechanic, Arsene. Arsene is an extension of Joker, giving him more damage, knockback, and hitboxes. Now admittedly, Joker probably did need to be toned down a bit, and he eventually did. But more on this later. People started to question MKLeo's skill as a player because Joker is broken, and he would get constant hate for playing Joker, and being at the top did not help his case at all. Not only that, you would see Arsene trend on Twitter after Leo would win a tournament begging and crying for nerfs because of something they saw Leo do in a tournament. Now, I don't want to get into the deep dynamics of this character, but recently after a quote-unquote nerf, people do not complain about Arsene as much. I think too many Smash players just see the word buff or nerf and get overly excited and not pay attention to what these things actually do. A lot of buffs and nerfs are actually inconsequential in Ultimate. There has been some really good buffs and some characters getting destroyed like Pichu in my opinion, Joker's nerf was a good nerf, but it does not change how Arsene really works all that much. He's almost exactly the same character. Down guns on Joker is just more of a straight line, and the Arsene nerf just changed how much meter he gets when Joker gets hit. So if Joker is playing well and isn't taking any hits, it's going to be exactly the same it's always been. People who cried nerf and saw the word nerf and they were happy without wanting to look deeper. And this is part of a bigger problem that I like to call patch culture. Moving on to another character that actually managed to get banned almost immediately by a region, the hero from Dragon Quest was revealed for Ultimate, and of course the character had mixed reception from us over here on the West because Dragon Quest is not as big over here as it is in Japan, but that is besides the point. Hero to me personally still has one of the most fun movesets in Ultimate, and that is solely due to their down B being a command menu with random attacks out of a bigger list of attacks. Their randomness during the reveal shook the community and had everyone thinking this character's randomness was going to be so unpredictable and ruin the game. And well, Hero surely did not ruin a single thing at all, and I feel like they had barely an impact on the meta game of Smash Ultimate. The only notable player using Hero is Salem, and people cried over the RNG, especially when certain players in the community used their influence to spread a narrative and cause toxicity. The Hero hate died down pretty quickly, but people truly got up in arms over nothing pretty much. But he still ended up being banned in Australia for some reason, but now luckily he's no longer banned. Now let's move on to something a lot more people can probably relate with: Wi-Fi characters. Yes, Smash Ultimate's Wi-Fi is just plain old bad like I mentioned before. There is no doubting that. Many claim that Wi-Fi enhances the capabilities of some characters due to it being harder to react to moves of certain characters such as Zelda, Sonic, and Ness online. In general, due to the online being not great, this is kinda true. There are extra frames that impact your movement depending on your connection of your match. This can be fine or just really bad. Smash Ultimate at its best online is playable. But the question is, does it truly impact the game enough to where some characters are super oppressive? Personally, I think it can be very annoying and draining, but I do not think it is near ban-worthy like some of these tournaments banning Sonic online. Because of something that happened in the Quarantine series, I might add. And now players of these characters are being attacked like Sonic's, who is a Sonic player and who has been doing well recently. A lot of people are yelling at players who are often finding their limelight online, and they're saying they're only good online. And I beg to differ, and I think that online just gives people more of a chance to show their skill. Online or offline, I think if a person is good at Ultimate, it doesn't really matter. The main thing you adjust to is reaction time between offline and online, and certain things do not work, and vice versa. Community is now up in arms about banning Sonic, and I think it's completely fightable online from my personal experience at least. Because I kind of just feel like almost any oppressive character in lag sucks to fight against, but it's not ban worthy. But if lag makes it unplayable in the first place, I don't think matches should just be played at all if it's just unplayable. And I think a speed test should determine the winner, even though it's not necessarily always reliable. I think being in quarantine and being subjected to play the game like this all the time can make us frustrated. But we should know as a community, just try to have fun and not try to take it too seriously. But I do think there is an argument to be made because money is involved, but it is what it is. Now let's talk about some honorable mentions. Inkling in the beginning of the game was begged for a nerf because of the roller, which is still hardly changed since the nerf, and Inkling faded into irrelevance. A similar thing also happened with Wolf with his down smash and laser, but in reality the nerf for the down smash only nerfed the back hit and increased the front hit of the down smash, so essentially it's the same thing. And the best honorable mention is Pichu. Pichu was a super good character, but they kinda ruined Pichu with nerfs, and now Pichu isn't even used by most of the people that maintain that character in tournament play. I feel like in the end, we'll end up hating this game if we keep these toxic mentalities to nerf these characters online or get them banned or just hating characters outright and their players. Some of this definitely comes from Smash 4 and raging at Bayonetta. Trust me, I was not a fan of that character, but I think as a community we gotta let these things go and just move on and stop screaming at the players like you and I who are just playing the game. I feel like that's gonna be it for today's video, and I feel like a lot of you guys are probably not going to agree, but hey, this is just the way I feel, and let me know in the comments below if you don't agree with anything, or if you do agree, let me know and tell me what you agree with. But make sure you guys check out my last video, and I will see you in the next one. Oh yeah, and don't forget to subscribe. Please do not forget to do that, and hit the like button if you enjoyed, and just subscribe, because what's the point of trying to find this stuff when it can just pop up in your box and you don't have to do anything. And anyways, I will see you in the next one.